Good evening, grave robbers, and welcome back to the television graveyard. We're your TV necromancers, Laura Prince and Noah Houlihan. We've come here tonight to examine the spirits of past television shows to find out which ones could be resurrected, should be resurrected, and which one should stay doomed. This is a podcast in which we will analyze the history, the hype, and the aftermath of shows that ran only one season, or only one episode, or in Australia or something. With me, as always, is TV's Noah Houlihan.
Greetings, pervs and perverts.
What? Yes, this is, we're on hiatus right now, and we're trying to get a couple episodes done. We're hearing things that the strike is, they're, like, approaching a deal, so hopefully this will be the last,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're hoping this will be the last, like, weird episode.
Well, this isn't that weird. This is just something that is... This would fall in line with something that we would cover even though the strike is going on. It's we push this to the front of the line because it happens outside of the United States.
I just missed the show.
Yeah,
It's been like...
I understand.
It's been like 3 months since we've been able to do, like, a proper Stay Doomed, and I
understand.
So this was also not my favorite thing we've watched.
Yeah, understandable. You haven't even said the title yet.
This is Australia's Naughtiest home videos.
Ooh, this is an adult version of Australia's Funniest home videos, which is America's Funniest home videos, but in Australia.
I did have the thought multiple times of, Bob Saget would have liked this.
Bob Saget would have really liked this.
My first note is actually... Bob Saget would have loved this. This made me miss Bob Saget.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That was really the, that was really the big takeaway from this.
But this is a show that infamously was tossed off the air during its initial broadcast.
Yes.
Now, we are not watching the initial broadcast. Apparently what happened is they dug it up after this had happened.
Yes, this was canceled mid-episode in 1992 and was rebroadcast in 2008.
Yes.
Because the version we watched had, like, a wraparound.
Yes,
explaining that.
Explaining that this is a very special broadcast. So this was a television special. It was meant to be a one-off. But basically, I'm going to make that mistake a lot. Australia's Funniest Home Videos had a collection of videos that were sent to them that they couldn't air because they were too naughty. So let's air them after Watershed and burn off all these VHS tapes we got to get rid of.
Yes.
We got enough here to do a show.
Also, Doug Mulray hosts it, and he says the phrase, back in the 20th century. I was like, what?
Doug Mulray is the person hosting the wraparound.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is why he says back in the 20th century.
Gotcha.
Because he's alluding to 1992. Have you ever seen someone refer to 20 years ago as the late 1900s?
No, I have not.
I've seen that, and it makes me want to die. So there's a big like, pre-warning card. It's
yes.
like, warning, this is for adults only.
Ooh.
Next comment. Bob Saget would have loved this. Yes, I did already say that was a note. I'm going to say it a few more times.
Yes.
It also calls the audience in the opening narrative Sissy Girls and Nancy Boys.
Yes. Which I have Nancy Boys in quotes here. Very weird energy. And who is our host here? Not the host of the wraparound. Who is hosting the actual Naughtiest videos here? The one that was actually recorded in 1992. Because he's a famous Australian comedian, but I'm not super familiar with it.
I just looked it up on, of all things, Wikipedia, because I needed to get information quickly. Mm-hmm. Doug Mulray is the host of the original show. Bert Newton.
Okay.
Doug Mulray was offered to host this, but declined.
Really? So Doug Mulray didn't want to come back 16 years later to be like, this show got thrown off the air.
Yes. He didn't want to, I guess, relive that. I don't really know why.
I mean, I don't know. 16 years is a long time. Like, who he is as a character and as a person may have changed greatly.
He was banned for life from this network for hosting this show.
Yeah, see? You might hold a grudge, for example.
He refuses to do it. And so we get Bert Newton as the wraparound host and Doug Mulray. It starts on like a fart joke.
Well, one thing I want to... There's a few things that Doug says that bother me. Do you have the fart joke?
No, I don't.
I don't remember exactly what the fart joke was. But he talks about how many people are there. And it is absolutely packed.
Yes, there's 160 more than the room should hold. If there's a fire, you're all going to die.
Which is funny and terrifying, and also reminds me of...
But by the time it broadcast, they probably hadn't died.
Yeah. It reminds me of a convention that we did forever ago, where we were doing a show, and the fire department showed up.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, we had every seat filled, and people just sitting in the aisleways. And then they saw the anime we had on, and the fire department looked at each other and was like, this is not a loss. And they just left. They're like, if there's a fire, nothing bad will have happened. So, you know what? Let's get out of here.
Was this Atlantic City?
This was... What con was that? Because I remember this one in particular because these two homeless guys snuck into the show.
This was Atlantic City, I believe.
No, it wasn't Atlantic City. This was I want to say, this might have been Inconceivable. Whatever it was a distance.
Okay, because I feel like I remember a similar issue with Fire Code at an Atlantic City convention. But it may not have been the same day.
Yeah. Anyway, the Fire Code joke made me think of all the weird Fire Code issues that we had when we were doing some shows. He then makes a very tasteless Rodney King joke.
Yes.
Thank you and welcome to the most sensational collection of home videos since Rodney King nicked out one night for a pizza recently.
And this is the only joke in the special that me and Laura were like, whoa!
And it's like right out of the gate.
Yeah. So it does set this tone.
He says it's, quote, the most sensational video since Rodney King nipped out for a pizza.
Woof.
My next note is me out loud. Oh no.
So it sets quite a tone for this show, and the rest of the show doesn't really match that energy.
No, the rest of the show is not edgy.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't get a huge reaction in Australia. But the next joke is about an Australian celebrity that I'm not aware of.
Lisa Patrick.
And of course, I'm not Lisa Patrick. Although I did cut down one of her frocks. And I also stole one of her bath towels to make soup out of.
Yes, which I didn't understand.
He's making a joke about her being so hot that he would drink her bath water.
Okay.
Which, it's interesting that joke is being made in 1992, decades before Belle Delphine started selling her bath water.
I mean, that wasn't like a commonly done thing at that time.
I know, I'm more of just commenting on
how old that bit is.
Yeah, the legs of the expression, she's so hot I drink her bath water are. That it was an early 90s comment. And it's something that's still being mentioned.
She had hosted a few episodes of Australia's Funniest Home Videos.
Belle Delphine?
No, Lisa Patrick.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a comedy show. I'm going to make jokes. Don't sigh heavily into the microphone.
Okay, hold on.
What did I just say? Okay.
He also refers to the band leader as like a hetero Right Said Fred.
Yes. And he just looks like Right Said Fred.
I mean, I guess the implication being that his band leader was heterosexual while the leader of Right Said Fred was homosexual.
I guess.
According to pop culture at that time. Because it was the 90s. Because it was the 90s.
So we then get our first video.
Which is someone bungee jumping in a kilt.
Yes, which is funny.
Absolutely. Like, it's bungee jumping in a kilt. What do you think happens?
Yeah. And, yeah, the exact thing you think would happen happens, and it's very funny. We're like, oh, if the videos are going to be this is going to be dirty but funny. The next video is a dog humping a duck or some other bird.
Yes, it's I have puppy humping a bird. An elephant pushing a fart out of another elephant, which, I'll admit it, I laughed. Mm-hmm. An elephant pushing a fart out of another elephant's funny.
Yeah.
Fart jokes are funny, I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. And then, like, a little girl inadvertently grabbing a kangaroo by the genitalia.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, you can tell it's Australia's home videos because there are kangaroos throughout this entire episode. There are so many kangaroos because they're just like pigeons there.
Fair.
We then have a long scene that's just a stripper at like a bachelor party. And I guess the joke is that she's overweight. But it's just a dude getting hit in the face with boobs.
Which, Mulray's remark is actually quite funny. Mm-hmm. Nothing like a weekend in the mountains.
Yes.
I think the joke is that he is getting repeatedly slapped in the head with them.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem sexual as much as it seems like he is repeatedly being batted about the skull.
Yeah.
With a pair of tatas.
And I'll bring this point up now because you brought it up here. Doug Mulray's jokes throughout this, they're juvenile and naughty and all the things you'd expect. But I would dare say they are the best jokes you could make with this material.
Yeah.
Like, for what they are of a high quality. The jokes are pretty solid in this show. We then get a girl doing tricks with her tongue.
Yeah, like, you don't see most of her face, you just see her mouth and, like, shoulders.
Yeah.
She's clothed.
She's clothed, but she, like, can turn her tongue upside down and then do the Free Willy tongue and then make it, like, waves and then do, like, the oyster. All things I've seen on, like, What Would You Do?
Yes.
And they're just making it overly sexual in this.
Yes, and then we get a couple more animals.
Yes, I have an important thing to say about this one.
Go on.
There is one that is a conga line at a party.
Yes.
And then a poodle jumps in and joins the conga line.
And you thought the lambada was the forbidden dance. Look at these girls. They think they're hopping. But Peppy here, he thinks he's jumping.
I think they like me.
Like
right.
A big white poodle. Now, what Australia's Naughtiest home videos did not think about before they made this is that former America's Home Video superfan Noah Houlihan would watch this. That video is an America's Funniest Home Videos video, not an Australian video.
Okay.
And I know this because I owned the America's Funniest Home Videos board game. And the way the board game worked was you would watch a video and then everyone would write a funny comment about it.
Okay.
And then you tried to guess who made what comment. I played this game once, and my mom's comment every time was, I don't want to play this game anymore. But one of the first videos on the VHS tape was this poodle video.
Huh.
So we are less than 10 minutes in.
Yes.
And the well has already run dry for Australia. And they are stealing us hardworking American Funniest Home Video videos.
Yes, because this was supposed to be an hour-long special. So we are still in the first half.
Yeah. Just wanted to say that. I'm on to you.
There's also a few bits that are clearly performance art that was filmed. Like, naughty performance art.
Yeah, like there were clearly sketches.
Yes, like there's one that's a naked man picking up a very small weight whilst wearing a winter hat, and then the bit eventually becomes that his penis is holding the weight up.
Yes.
It's definitely not an accident. It's definitely not a weird, oh, we caught this. This is more like a dirty TikTok.
Yes, so this was a common problem with America's Funniest Home Videos. Is America's Funniest Home Videos did not accept sketches.
Yes.
They had to just be these kind of more Fail Army-esque videos. But they received so many sketches that there was a spin-off of America's Funniest Home Videos called America's Funniest People.
Yes.
Do you recall this?
No, I do not.
Yes, it would air after America's Funniest Home Videos, and it was hosted by Dave Coulier, the other guy from Full House. And basically, it was the same situation as this special, where it was like, we have all these sketches we can't use because they don't fit with the America's Funniest Home Video lineup. We should just make another show.
Right.
So it appears Australia's Naughtiest videos is kind of falling into the same category where they also have these sketches to use. You didn't expect me to know so much about America's Funniest Home Videos, did you?
No. That being said, I would have loved to have heard Bob Saget's commentary over that video.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, next note. I miss Bob Saget.
Miss Bob Saget.
Then there's just a joke with a basketball player with a lot of arse hair.
Yeah.
Then there's just a lot of butts.
Yeah.
We get the butt montage.
Yeah, I just have butt montage here. Then
a gorilla eating a finger shoved in his bum. Guy in a kilt face plants off a trampoline, which does feel more in vein with what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like,
more kilts.
No, just like a little bit more risque, but also a little bit more localized in that kilts are not very common in the US. Like, this was what I thought we were getting into. And then, like, a woman who's walking over a bridge and she, like, steps in a divot and her skirt flies up.
Mm-hmm. She gets Marilyn Monroe'd.
And then a dated George Bush joke where somebody Ace Ventura butt talks.
Yes. This is weird and important, though.
Okay.
After all the butt videos, which I assume you have nothing more to say about the butt videos?
Correct.
Okay. We go to commercial.
Yes.
We don't see the commercials, but they go to commercial. They come back from commercial, and this is where the host welcomes us back with...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on. Ladies and gentlemen wouldn't watch this show, would they? Welcome back, pervs and perverts.
So he welcomes us back saying, like, if you're watching this show, you are a perv or a pervert. Okay. He then sets up the next set of videos. And you know what the theme of the next set of videos is?
This next group of videos are all about children.
Who made that choice? Welcome back, pervs and perverts. You ready for some kids videos?
There's some other... Maybe I just didn't write down the stuff about kids because I didn't have a reason to want to do that.
Understood.
Because, like, the next note I have is a guy putting an entire condom over his head.
That is much later.
Okay. My next notes are butts, more butts, and Mulray talks about running over a cat for some reason.
Yeah, there is... Oh, I think I know why you might have skipped this. But there's some weird kid videos where, like, it's kids accidentally being sexual, which is weird. A kid pooping themselves, and then a kid eating maggots. And I think that might have been why you don't remember this, because you blocked it out of your mind.
That is totally possible, where I was just like, no, not. I don't want to do that.
But he did say in the opening that, like, you're going to see weird videos, sexy videos. There's even a kid eating maggots. And then when he shows that video, it cuts back to him going, I warned you. I warned you you were going to see that. Which is a good, like, callback bit.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, the kids' videos end. We do get the condom video. I have a note about that. He puts a condom over his nose and blows it up, which is a Howie Mandel bit. It's a very famous Howie Mandel bit. So we just have some plagiarism going on here. So then we get Fat Cher. Remember Fat Cher just shows up.
Oh, I have a moment. Oh, it's a woman dancing. It's funny because she's fat. Because that was the 90s.
Yeah.
And then there's some joke about her being a man, and I went, oh, good, it's also anti-trans. Like, a very, like, weird transphobic joke gets made.
Yeah. Then I have a note that just says, wow joke. No idea what that's referring to. Because it's probably a little... It's definitely not World of Warcraft in 92. So.
No, I'm sure it's not.
The host demanding to see the tongue video again. And we just watched that video again of the girl doing tongue tricks.
We get that a few times.
Because
then we get like, and then like we get this very classic America's Funniest Home Video. A young woman gets out of a car and her dress gets torn off.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I have wow joke about a stripper. Which, I wonder if that's
Yeah, it's probably the same wow joke, but I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, and then back to Tongue Girl, so. Okay.
Oh, I think it was a tattoo that she had W's.
Yes, W's on her butt cheeks, so when she spread them, it said wow. Right, okay.
Yeah.
And then there was something that was pixelated, and we realized it was people having sex.
Yeah, so it's people in a park having sex.
Yeah, it's people publicly, inappropriately having sex.
And, like, the way the camera is shot, it's these two people, and you see them, like, start to get frisky, and then, like, something goes over top of it that says, like, too hot.
Yeah.
And then the camera is kind of panning around to show that, like, there's just people fishing, like, nearby. There are joggers. And this was the first time I started to get worried about consent. Mm-hmm. Because it looked to me like this video was from someone's car. Did these two people having sex in the park know they were being videotaped? And if not, don't think you should put that on Australian television.
Yeah. I mean, I believe there's technically something about, like, if you're in public, there's implicit consent. But I'm so against filming people when they're not aware of it.
I guess there's the possibility that the person sending the video was like, my friends wanted me to film them having sex in the park. And this is them doing it. Look how funny it is. But even then, there should be the question of, should we air this? And they do.
And then we get a super cut of animals, most of which are kind of innocent. It's like animals like French kissing, which is like two dogs fighting over a tennis ball.
Yes.
Like, I see the same thing at the dog park once a week with the local dogs fighting over a tennis ball. It's not a naughty thing. It's, I want the tennis ball.
Yeah. But, you know, the well's running dry. They've already reused the tongue video multiple times at this point.
Yeah, because, like, a lot of the footage in the animal group is stuff that you wouldn't even think about, like, a 5-year-old watching. Like, the stuff with the dogs fighting over the tennis ball. Mm-hmm. Like, it's nothing even close to objectionable. And then we get this really fun part.
This is incredible.
Mulray does a speech where he leads up to telling us what the next group of videos is going to be about. And he leads up to it and then announces it's going to be boobs.
Mm-hmm.
The bosoms. Firm. Pert. Alabaster. Fun bags.
We
apologize for this interruption. Unfortunately, a technical problem prevents us continuing our scheduled program for the moment. In the meantime, we bring you a brief alternative program.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Well, suddenly everybody knew Doug Mulray's name. Anyone still watching back in 1992 who wasn't scandalised by the smut was expecting more of the same. Instead, they got that announcement of technical difficulties which you heard.
Which is what really happened.
Yes.
34 minutes into the broadcast. So they were showing that part because that was... I think that's very historically valuable for the 2008 rebroadcast to show you exactly where it stopped airing.
Yes. Now, there are on YouTube videos of the actual broadcast being pulled off the air. Mm-hmm. And it's not at that exact moment, but it didn't go off the air at the exact moment for all stations. I would also guess it playing the theme to Cheers was produced for this wraparound.
Yeah.
But, because I'm sure they were making sure it cut to something they had the rights to at the time when this aired. But it's still really funny that it happened at that moment.
I mean, it did become Cheers.
Yeah.
Like, in the actual time.
Oh, okay.
Kerry Packer, who was the president of the network, called furious. Mm-hmm. The break is not consistent across the country of Australia because there are certain... there's time differences.
Yeah.
I did really love the way they timed it in the wraparound. Mm-hmm. Because it builds up. He does this whole speech about boobs. Announces boobs, which, like, if you're a teenager watching this, you're like, boobs,
boobs are gonna happen.
And then Cheers. Like, to the point where in 1992, I could have believed it was an elaborate prank. Like, I might have been like, oh, that's the bit. Mm-hmm. That's funny. Mm-hmm. Like, that's really, really funny if you think about it.
Yeah. That's a common Facebook prank these days. Is putting up, like, an album of pictures and saying, like, check out my cosplay. Hope you don't mind that the last few are a bit lewd. And then you upload pictures that look like broken links to see if people are like, oh, the last ones are broken. You might want to fix that.
There was something very interesting of, this is pre-social media. So the show just went off.
Yeah, it just ended.
Like, now you would see on Twitter or whatever.
Where are my boobs?
That, like, oh, the show got canned because X. Like, the station would have to make a statement. Mm-hmm. So there's something very interesting about, I think, obviously I'm here, I'm endlessly fascinated by television history.
Yeah.
I think there's something so interesting in the ephemeral nature of television from especially, the 60s through the 90s, how incredibly ephemeral it was. Mm-hmm. That stuff like this could happen and never be seen or known about.
Exactly.
So we then go back to the show. We do get a little bit of time with Newton where he says, like, we were told it was technical difficulties. It's, quote, it's technically very difficult to keep the show on when Kerry Packer is yelling at you.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
And then we see just we see, like, a kinkajou go down a girl's shirt.
Yeah, I didn't know what a kinkajou was until I saw this, and they're adorable.
But I also feel like that's something you would have seen on America's Funniest Home Videos, because you don't see anything graphic in that one.
Yeah, but you see a kinkajou, and it is this like, little furry thing that's so cute. I feel like as an American, I've been denied kinkajous.
Some people do have them as pets.
I would like to give it scritches.
They're not great pets.
Because they like boobs too much?
No, they're, like, related to raccoons.
Oh. They're little trash koalas.
I'm sorry, when you Google image search kinkajou, it is literally the cutest picture I've ever seen.
It is so cute! Life. Look at that little trash koala.
Oh my god. Like, I'm gonna make sure Noah gets this exact National Geographic picture, because it looks like this thing's yearbook picture. in the best possible way. I'm sending this to you right now. I can't wait for you to forget and then just get a picture of a kinkajou in 3 days.
It's so cute.
Oh, I love him. Anyway,
who cares about boobs? Kinkajous rule. No Houlihan 2023.
A woman's boob flying out of her tank top on a mechanical bull.
Yeah.
A braless woman dancing. And then we get another sketch, and it's really long.
Yes.
It's this really long dance number, and we do see genitalia. Like a lot of it.
Yeah, they're doing this bit where they have a hat in each hand, and they're dancing and they're switching the hats to cover their genitalia, and then they'll move the hat over and cover the guy next to them. But there's a moment, I'm doing the dance. I always have 2 naked men next to me, so I can do this dance.
Yeah, can you guys believe that I record this podcast under these conditions?
It hasn't made sense until now. But there's a moment when you move a hat from your own genitalia to your friend's, and your other friend is moving their hat onto yours, that you can see genitalia. So I saw a lot of genitalia.
Yes. That is the truth.
Take 5, boys.
Oh my god. Oh gosh. There's also a video of a girl eating a popsicle in a way that looks somewhat suggestive, but not intentional, and the girl looks underaged.
Yeah.
Like, she looks like 14. It's a little creepy. And by that I mean it's super creepy.
This reminded me of a very famous Gong Show sketch. In the 70s, there was a show called The Gong Show where you got on stage and you performed, and if you were good, you got points, and if you were bad, they rung the gong because it was time for you to get off. And there was always acts on The Gong Show that were there to be gonged. And they had an act that was just these twins eating popsicles. And you can hear the crowd go, "Oh, yeah!"
Here comes... Have you got a nickel? All
right. It's actually a very famously.
Yeah.
There was a group of men screaming at the television when this went off.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where my notes kind of stopped, so I think that was the last clip.
Oh, I have a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
That I need. There's a guy who falls out of the shower. There is I forget if it's a girl or a guy, but someone is like in a lake and they pull an eel out of their bathing suit.
Here, a wealthy customer experiences the ecstasy of the popular trousers full of eels treatment.
And then I, of course, went, "Eels up inside ya, find an entrance where they can. Eels up inside ya, find an entrance where they can. Eels, 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 eels. Eels, 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 eels." Laura, you're looking at me like I'm crazy?
Yeah.
I thought you liked the Mighty Boosh.
I've seen...
Do you only know Old Greg?
Yes.
I gotta get you into some eels then.
No, nothing about that made me...
Eels, get it up now. Eels, eels, eels. Guys, watch the eel song of Mighty Boosh.
You know, this might be my least favorite episode I've ever been part of. I really miss Old Stay Doomed. I really hope the actors get what they need soon. Because I really miss the show.
You know what the actors need? Eels, eels, eels,
I
eels,
loathe you.
eels, eels, eels. Get it up now. Eels, get it up, man. And then my final note is just kind of ends.
Yes.
Because then it just kind of ends. And there's no like prize. There's no like, what was the naughtiest video? Like in America's Funniest Home Videos where it's like someone can win $10,000. Nobody wins anything. Everybody loses. And then everybody left.
Yeah, so none of the clips were censored.
Okay.
but there were some remarks excised from the rebroadcast.
Oh, interesting.
Because they were no longer socially acceptable.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the Daily Telegraph did an article right ahead of the rebroadcast. Mm-hmm. And they said, quote, "We've had to make a few changes to some of Mulray's comments, like a reference about fat kids, which is no longer acceptable, but all the clips will air," unquote. Which is Richard Lyle, who was a censor for the 9 network.
Okay.
He was working there in 1992, and he was working there now. So I guess in 16 years, either he got better at his job or we all got cool about a lot of shit.
We all got cool. All right.
Quote, "It was good-natured stuff that some people read into more than others." Unquote.
Interesting. So, unless you have any more fantastic research, I think it's verdict time.
I have something.
Oh, do tell.
So I had mentioned that Bob Saget would have loved this. Bob Saget would have loved this. In March 2019, there was an American clip show special called Videos After Dark.
I forgot about this.
Hosted by Bob Saget.
Saget. Yes.
So that smacks of future Stay Doomed episode because it ran 2 episodes.
Yeah, there we go.
So it would have, according to the press release, it would have quoted from the, quote, "vast video vault that are more appropriate for an older audience." So they did this several years later. I'm not going to get into it any more than that because I'm going to save that for a potential future episode.
Yes, absolutely. So it's verdict time. What are your thoughts here?
It's a Stay Doomed from me because it was just not that interesting.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't quite clever enough. It wasn't quite... Mulray tries, bless him. But it's not...
I mean, I'll say it again. I think the jokes are as good as they could be for this material. I think it's better to do something with these clips than nothing. I think it did a good job. It would do a good job of filling a late night hole. And it's weird to think.
What time do you think this aired?
I thought it said it aired at 9.
8:30.
8:30?
So I took a note of what aired at 8:30 on Nickelodeon. This aired in the same time slot as Roundhouse. Because I looked up, like, what was it, like, the SNCC block at the time.
Yeah.
So this was airing at the same time slot as Roundhouse.
Okay. So no kids saw it because they were all watching Roundhouse.
I mean, I don't know whether Roundhouse aired in...
I don't know either. I'm just making it funny.
I really like Roundhouse.
But in any case, I think it's weird to remember that there was a time where network television would be in a situation where it's like, we have nothing to air on Friday.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing that would happen sometimes. And I think having a couple of these in your pocket, not the worst thing that could happen. And I think after this aired, if it had been a little successful, you would have gotten more videos of this ilk.
Yes.
So you would have better material to make the next episode better. I think as an occasional special, I think it could be a stay tuned.
That's fair.
There's a few things I would change. Not a big fan of the people having sex. Not a big fan of, hey, pervs, here's some kids. But I think overall, I think there's legs here. And I think it's... Maybe I'm just more positive as we get older in doing this podcast.
I was not as entertained. I was like, this is fine. It's not... When I say, like, it's a Stay Doomed, I don't hate that it exists. Mm-hmm. I just personally don't think I would have watched another one.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, to me, this was a Fail Army video, and I'd throw one of those on if nothing else was on.
That's fair.
So that was my kind of feeling towards it. Hey, this is a later version of us.
Hi guys, it's December.
Hi.
I'm a reindeer.
Yes.
I'm literally recording this wearing a reindeer headband.
So we changed what we were going to watch so that because the strike ended, and also Laura's a reindeer.
I'm a reindeer.
So we should watch something a little Christmassy.
Am I finally getting a holiday special?
You say that like we didn't already do a holiday special, which I don't...
I know, but me bothering you to do a holiday special is a running joke on Stay Doomed.
That is true. But yeah, you're finally getting another one.
Am I finally getting this year's holiday special?
Yes. What are we watching next week?
We are watching the Back to the Future, the animated series holiday special.
Yes. This is a holiday special that apparently aired. I know very little about it, despite the fact that it's Back to the Future. And we're going to see if Biff Tannen or one of his grandkids or grandparents
Steals Christmas
or something. I'm sure a hoverboard's in it.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. We're going to get back to real normal Stay Doomed episodes after
Yay!
this. This was just, I picked this up for Noah to be kind of to be something fun and cute.
So that's what we are watching next week. I don't know where you can watch it. I have it on DVD. But in any case, if you want to, I don't know anything about, I don't remember what we recorded, so I don't have a relevant sign off. So if you just want to talk to me, I'm at TV's Noah on Instagram.
If you want to actually me about the fact that Back to the Future, the animated series, ran 2 seasons and therefore doesn't technically count, I don't care. And I'm at Priorities. Until next time, stay doomed.